Wow, look at Jenny. She's just lounging over there.
It's what I do.
Every time we
Love
start our coffee and customer service hangout, somehow it gets to Jenny first, and I'm making a funny face that time. But just wanted to say welcome to our phone.com. I'm going to hand talk because I never do. Our phone.com coffee and customer service hangout today. This is my name is Jeremy Watkin. Work for phone.com, and my counterpart Jennifer Dempsey.
it. It's Jenny. I'm only Jennifer when I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I'm mostly Jeremy to a lot of people, but I'm Jeremy if I'm in trouble.
Oh.
Funny how that works. Um, well, I think I have a Jerry curl or something going on today. I need my webcam higher. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. What are you drinking today, Jenny?
You know, every time we do this, I feel like I'm so boring. And one day I will prepare and drink something cool, but right now I just have a big jug of water. I'm just all about hydration.
I'm drinking this
Yeah.
wonderful green tea.
Ooh. Wow, I can't even
A
read
bunch
it.
of lettering that I can't read.
Is it good?
Ito. Boy, ocha. Delicious.
Yum. Well, cheers to that. That looks good.
Indeed. So, um, so we had a great guest lined up, but she got sick. Mary Beth from Help Gizmo. If you haven't followed her, it's at Help Gizmo on Twitter, and stay tuned for a great hangout with her probably in 3 or 4 weeks. We're looking forward to that. She's been a fun to engage with on Twitter, and yeah, so it's just going to be Jenny and I today. Jenny, what did your week look like? What
Well,
are some of your highlights?
well, the highlight of this week, I would say, was the focus post. And I had such a challenge because, and okay, it's actually funny. So I wasn't going to do that at first. Then I wrote it up, scheduled it to publish. That night, I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go and I have to remove that from there. I don't want that blog on there. I'm going to change it. I was like, I'll change it to something else and I'm just not going to do this. I left that part out. I didn't tell you that. And then the next morning I come on, I log on, and I'm about to go change it, and I see that people are actually retweeting it, and it's getting some action. I was like, oh no, I can't change it now that it's out. So I left it, and now I'm doing a 30-day challenge to be, I guess it's just more of a focus, be a little more mindful, and basically with the ultimate goal of taking care of myself so I can take care of others better. And that's kind of what I'm going for. So it's like I had to. It felt a little selfish at first, but then I talked it out with a friend, and it really, it came to the conclusion that it's not selfish. It's actually really great because I'm doing this to help others, and it's a little challenging, but I'm keeping notes every day. I downloaded Evernote, and I'm taking notes on a daily basis, thoughts and different things that come up, and what I'm doing, and just being aware of it. Disable notifications. Jeff Toyster mentioned that, so I've disabled those. I figured out a way for those IM pop-ups. Remember that, Jeremy? The little window IM pop-ups. Yeah, I figured out a way. System settings. If you go to system settings, you could do that for IM and for email. So check it out. I Googled how to do it for a Mac, and for messages and for mail, you can disable those settings in the system preferences and notification section. So you can do that. I'm working on scheduling more things. So if I want to, work with a customer, I'm going to give them all of my time, and I'm going to try to schedule it as much as I can. Sometimes you can't, but in most cases. So yeah, that's my challenge. Whether I didn't want to do it at first, I did want to do it, didn't want to do it. Now I'm doing it, and I think it's going to be really challenging this month because I'll be in the office, and I know that's going to be like it's always so exciting to be in the office, and there's so much going on, and I want to do everything, and so it's going to be very interesting, and I'm going to try to post weekly about thoughts and things that come up, and yeah, what do you think of that? I mean, is that something do you feel you have a need to put more focus on your focus?
Yeah, I think I ebb and flow with that. Um, and sometimes I tend to make sweeping changes, but then others I'm happy to continuously improve. And I think I shared with you that I use my evenings to catch up a lot because of the stuff that deters me. Um, but I do find that, and oftentimes one thing I like to do is maybe for like 10 minutes the evening before I go to work, I write out what I'm doing the next day, and tend to be a little bit more intentional there, but still let distractions hit me. Definitely the nature of customer service, but I'm really interested to see how it goes for you. I know I proposed in my comment to maybe do a survey of our internal staff to see what they thought. What are your thoughts on that? I think I scared you a little bit.
I read that and was like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure I want to know, at least yet. Um, I think maybe if we did it overall for the support team, for support supervisors, that'd be cool. I just don't know if I'm ready yet for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to know and I want to improve and take their feedback. I just, at this point, I don't know if I'd be capable of using it to the best extent, I guess, at this point. Like, I'd want to take their feedback and actually, like, use it to make changes, and I don't feel I'm at a level yet where I'd be, I guess, strong enough. Well, maybe not strong enough is not the right word, but just prepared enough to actually work on those changes. So maybe after these 30 days, seeing how it goes with this and maybe revisit that idea. So.
Yeah, I don't even know fully how to measure it, but what we were doing our strengths finder discussion yesterday, and talking about how it'd be so cool to be able to measure if you find that because you're more focused during those allotted times that you actually get more done and the quality is better. So I know I would leave that up to feeling whether I got more done or not, but.
Mhm.
Interesting. Well, I'm interested to read your updates.
Thanks. Well, you'll be reading them soon. And you had an interesting week. You had a couple of posts, different variety of stuff going on.
Yeah. So one was a not so much post of mine. A customer. We had an issue where a customer was complaining on social media and other channels, saying that he hadn't got a refund from us and that we were crooks, and and I argued with him a little bit and said, I've checked on our end in our systems and we've refunded everything. And I think after waiting a while, he came back to us on Facebook, and turns out he was right. I was like, well, I better stop fighting him on this and double check a system that I'm not a programmer, so I can't access that. So I checked with someone who has access to the back-end system. We found out that, in fact, there was a bug, and he didn't get his money. So I had to go back to the customer and apologize. I realized that there was a bigger issue that I've been working to fix. But I think I've learned this lesson many times, that it's unless you know all the ins and outs of a system, it's probably good to get a second opinion, especially if the customer is adamant. And it goes back to, sure, the customer may not always be right, but oftentimes they are. And even if they aren't right, we have to figure out how to handle them well. I love that quote from, ever since we met Shep Hyken, his quote, "The customer isn't always right, but they are always the customer." So just that requirement to provide customer service. The real shame of it is the customer definitely won't be coming back to us anytime soon, which is really a bummer. And I didn't know that I fully could have prevented it. There were other issues he had already canceled, but yeah, it's just a bummer. So definitely something to learn from. I feel inclined to be less stubborn, less confident in the system, and more okay to get a second opinion if a customer presses an issue like that. So good times.
Lots of fun.
Yeah. So on a better note, I wrote about last weekend. I traveled up to Monterey, California. If you haven't been there, it's awesome. And got to run 26.2 miles of Pacific Coast Highway,
Woo!
the Big
Man,
Sur Marathon.
congratulations again for that. It's awesome.
My legs are just starting to feel back to normal, so I can get out on the road again. It was a very hard race, but very gorgeous. You know, I intentionally I told my sisters we were running because from mile 18 on it was pretty brutal, and I didn't want to walk. And I told my sister, I was like, I'm suppressing all the negative things I want to say about this because it really is a gorgeous race. We've anticipated it for so long. We trained for it. I'm going to do my best, and so for that I felt really good. I think the only thing was I wish I had been faster, but there's always next time, right?
Exactly. And you still completed it. I mean, that's amazing. So.
I did note that I did experience some great customer service. I think volunteerism is so cool, and I get super appreciative when I'm worn out and when I've run a race. I think it just wears me out to a point where I just I'm so excited for volunteers out there to cheer us on, give us aid. I definitely recommend volunteering in something outside of work, and you can see how it really is a type of customer service. And it's cool when volunteers who aren't getting paid get out there and help someone just as they would want to be helped and do it with a smile on their face, with nothing really in return other than maybe some good feelings. I also met a hero of mine, Bart Yasso. He's a running legend. He's the chief running officer at Runner's World magazine, and he was shaking everybody's hand, and I thought that was so cool. Normally I wouldn't approach someone because I'm kind of shy that way, but apparently at the end of a marathon I lose my inhibitions, and so I got a photo with him, and I think it's so cool that as the reader of Runner's World that he knows who his customers are and he's out there saying hello to them. I think that's putting a name with a face, speaking with people. I think that's something we always have to remember in customer service and as running companies. It helps customers make a connection to your brand. So those were a couple of my highlights. I won't go through all of them, but yeah. So
that's awesome. And then also we threw in the final book club post.
Yeah, I'm still on number 2.
Yeah, even though I've read it and I wrote the discussion questions, I still haven't had a chance to answer them. But I will get to it. My focus will be there.
Yes, it will. I will get mine done this weekend. I'm definitely enjoying the book. I don't have it on me, but Integrity Service by Ron Willingham.
Mm-hmm. Makes me want to buy some index cards. He talks about index cards so much, and every time I'm like, man, I really should buy some index cards.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any customer service challenges you're facing right now, Jenny?
Well, I guess the biggest customer service challenge that I'm facing right now is, well, okay, there's a few, but the one of them that I guess I feel is the most challenging is when we work with outside vendors and we have to, we have our own kind of policies and way that we do things, and then we have to reach out to a different company to get the answers for other things, and they have their own internal policies, and I deal with all the number transferring and all that good stuff. So this week it's consistent reaching out to vendors, but this week it's like I had to reach out to 3 different vendors about the same problem. And it was interesting to see how long each one took to get back to me, how they provided their answers. Like, it was the same question for each party, and it was very interesting to me. One of them took literally like 3 days. One of them took a couple days, and one of them was like within, a couple hours. And it's always just amazing to me to see the responses and how difficult and challenging it is to work with vendors. I mean, they're great and they help us so much, but it's a constant challenge when you're trying to work and do customer service for our customers as we're the customer for another company, and this chain goes on, and that's a consistent battle. But yeah, that's just one that came up this week a lot, especially for that particular issue. So, what about you? Anything over there?
That's definitely a challenge. Relationships are tricky out when you're relating to other companies, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you don't have a direct contact to go to, it makes it really messy. So having that direct contact and being able to build that relationship is incredible, but you don't usually get that. And so, unless you complain, like I did at one point. And then I have a great contact over at our vendor, and it's amazing. But yeah, besides that, it's challenging.
Man, just because it's fresh in my mind, but I've been dealing with a little bit of fraud today, which is always fun. This case, there's someone calling our contact center, and we used to call it social engineering. I don't know if that's actually the real term, but where someone calls and gets service pretending to be someone else, but it's fraud, and just the challenge of making sure everybody in our contact center knows how to identify this particular caller and catches them. But it's hard because when you know someone's committing fraud, I guess I wouldn't call them our customer, but it's almost a license for us relational people, be mean to someone and say, sorry, but you were ripping us off. I always find that a hard balance. But in the same breath, it's not fun to be taken advantage of as a company. It's hard enough to do business as it is, and it's scary because the bigger a company grows, the more people that this particular person could talk to, and they could just keep perpetuating the cycle. But yeah, fraud is scary. You feel a little bit violated when someone uses the service and doesn't want to pay for it.
Yeah. Oh boy. That gets messy. And it definitely does challenge those relational skills. Absolutely. It's sometimes hard to be mean, but it gets to that point. I think we all have that level where it's like, it's here, it's at that level, and it goes above and beyond, and we're able to maybe be a little bit more assertive. Maybe not mean, but assertive.
Yeah. I've definitely, definitely told people to go away because they're committing fraud, and I was positive that they were doing it, and they still threaten and stuff like that. Sometimes the audacity of people is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's much nicer to work with honest folks.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I want to add one more thing. Sorry, I'm going to toot my own horn for just a second here, but it is my 9-year work anniversary today.
Today?
Today. Isn't that incredible? I actually thought it was yesterday, but I was mistaken. It's today. 9 years. Almost a whole flipping decade. So crazy. I feel really old. I know. Almost 2 hands.
Well, yes, 2 hands, just not.
Yeah. 2 hands minus a thumb.
Wow, it's been a pleasure.
It has been, absolutely. It's been an incredible journey.
I don't know if you believe it, but before you came, there were no lights in this place. It was just a dark wasteland.
I brought the lights.
Yeah. Thanks. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just had to throw that in. That's
awesome. Well, cool. Well, we would love to hear what everyone's customer service challenges are. If you have any, go to Communicate Better blog, leave us a comment. If you'd like to be in one of our coffee and customer service hangouts, We try and do them every Friday, and we'd love to connect with you. Oh yeah, next week, forgot to mention, Jenny and I are both speaking at the ICMI conference in San Diego. If you're a contact center person and you're going to that conference, connect with us. We would love to hang out, grab something to drink, whatever, and get to know you and learn about your passions for customer service and other stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be so fun. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, follow Jenny and I on Twitter. We'll tweet what we're learning at the conference and probably write up a couple posts about what we learned there and some insights and such. And maybe some videos.
And pictures. We gotta get some good goofy pictures going. Oh, your phone.
My phone. That killed it. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you, Jenny. It's great hanging out.
Bye. See you. It's great hanging out. Have a good one.
You too.